Welcome to what we hope is the first of many postseason Towson men's lacrosse reports. Spiro Marikas here, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin. And coach, last Friday night up in Newark, quite a ball game as the Tigers win the regular season title, go undefeated in conference play for the first time since 2004, 7-0. Your team really on a roll, 11-3 overall, and just really, if anybody thought that these two teams weren't into winning the regular season championship, they didn't watch that game because both teams played really hard.
Yeah, it was a heck of a game. Which CAA games bring that, and then Towson, Delaware definitely brings that, and just an awesome atmosphere. Both teams, brought great energy, great intensity, and some really impressive play. Two teams that going into it, you kind of look at are very evenly matched, and a one-goal game kind of confirms that.
And both goalies came in the top 5 in the country in goals against average, and both played really well.
They did. Yeah, they did. We had a hard time in that first half trying to get it past Ellington, and Downsy was consistent. He was just really steady all the way through. Fortunately, we were able to get a few more past them in the second half, and but both goalies proved their worth.
You're down 6-3 at halftime. What was the message to the team?
Kind of talking back on the goalies, it's like we had really good opportunities. Offense was generating really good looks. We weren't forcing shots or taking bad shots. We just got to put it past the goalie, and it's easier said than done sometimes. And also ground ball play. I felt like there was a few ground balls where we weren't as clean and fluid that we didn't come up with. And in games like that, those are very important to earn those extra possessions. Both face-off guys were doing well. Both goalies were doing well. So possessions were at a premium. So we wanted to be a little bit more just settled and poised and composed with our ground ball play. Adjusted our clearing a little bit, and it was really.
It seemed much more aggressive in the second half.
Yeah, we wanted to push not necessarily push the tempo, but just be a little bit more efficient in how we were moving the ball up the field.
And you came into the game as one of the leading teams in the country and caused turnovers, and you forced Delaware into 17 turnovers. That was also huge in the second half. It just looked like you were all over them all the entire 30 minutes.
Yeah, again, both teams played really hard. Our guys, were into it, and we got really aggressive at times. And then watching the film, we got lucky when we got aggressive sometimes, where they had some opportunities, beyond our aggressiveness that we got fortunate that we were able to kind of corral them and then not be able to have them see those open guys and those open looks. So something that it paid off for us, being aggressive and making those plays, but we're fortunate at the same time.
I have to give my analyst Glenn Smith some credit here. In the first 2 minutes of the game, he said Joaquin Villagomez looks like he's especially quick tonight, and he had a great ball game for you, scoring 3 goals.
Yeah, he had a really big game, from start to finish. I thought he asserted himself right away, played with some really good intensity, but also composure, and did what we needed him to do. He made the plays that he was in position to make. He helped generate our offense with carrying the ball or working off ball, and the guys fed off of that, and it was a really big night for him.
All right, regular season's over. Now we get to postseason play, and the Tigers will face Drexel at Johnny Unitas Stadium, 4 o'clock on Thursday. In the first semifinal, then you've got Fairfield and Delaware in the second game at 7. We hope everybody can come on out to the U for that. You look at Drexel. You played them very early in the conference season, and you beat them 16-11. But it was a game where you had to come back because Drexel kind of jumped on you early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the first conference game, on the road, and they jumped on us. We weren't really ourselves, and we really didn't become ourselves until that fourth quarter. When we were able to make some plays in the middle of the field and get some goals against a very strong goalie.
And a game where Luke Downs got hurt late in that game, and Nyland came in and did a great job for you.
Correct. Had that big save on the kind of failed clear transition back in our way, and made that big one. And I think that just elevated us at that point after losing Luke at that juncture in the game, and to get our guys settled back in and realize, hey, well, it's we're able to press forward here.
What can you take from that game, since it was basically almost 2 months ago, that now you're playing them again, and teams change over a 2-month period?
Absolutely. Obviously we've seen, we remember that game, but also recognizing the games and viewing the games that they've played since then, seeing similarities, whether it be personnel or what they're, running as well, and also tweaks. So recognizing how they're evolving. So trying to understand what they've become, how we need to be ready for that, but also, what we do and how that's going to be successful, hopefully, against them.
Well, and then Brian Volker, he's looking at you and he's saying, well, this isn't the same team we played 2 months ago either.
Correct. Yeah, and we'd like to think so, and then being able to, again, like I said, evolve throughout the season. Better understanding of your identity, both at all facets of the game, and trying to play your best lacrosse at this point in the season.
Well, the Tigers have won 7 straight. I'd say that's pretty good going late into the season. Tigers and again Drexel take on each other 4 o'clock Thursday afternoon at Johnny Unitas Stadium, followed by Delaware and Fairfield. Glenn Smith and I will have the call for you on TowsonTigers.com at 4 o'clock. So for the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin, I'm Spiro Marikas. Hopefully next week we're talking to you with the NCAA version of the Towson Men's Lacrosse Report. And as always, go Tigers.